Last time we talked about the cross of Christ, its place within Christianity, and its importance in the shaping of human history. But there's an event that followed closely behind that of the cross, and an event that, if it hadn't happened, well, the cross would mean nothing to us today. And that event, of course, is the resurrection. Jesus' resurrection is the event in which the Messiah was raised from the dead, his body brought back to life to demonstrate to the disciples the completed work of redemption. The cross and the resurrection form an unbreakable unity. The cross without the resurrection is just martyrdom. At most, it's an act of solidarity within a persecuted nation, and at worst, it's a wrongly calculated disaster. But together, the cross and the resurrection constitute the fulcrum on which God's intention to recapture the world for himself is launched and enacted. Christians understand the cross-resurrection event to be the most illuminating event in salvation history. The despair of all past history is reversed by it. The hope of all future history is set in motion by it. Death, an undefeated enemy, had rained terror in the lives and hope of all those who had ever lived. Then Jesus, in what might have seemed to the disciples like a half-court buzzer beater, defeated death in his resurrection to reverse the scoreboard and reclaim humanity's hope and future. So what does the resurrection mean in our lives today and every day? Well, it means three things. First of all, the resurrection imparts hope to Christians. In an age where most people take up residence between the fear of death and the futility of life, Paul can say that the cornerstone of Christian hope is the future resurrection of believers in Romans 8:24 and 25. Christian hope is not a placebo in the face of certain death, but it has real substance and is confirmed by Christ's own power as the example of what will happen to us. As 1 Corinthians 6 tells us, by his power God raised the Lord from the dead, and he will raise us also. If Christ has truly been raised, then Christians look forward to that final victory over death and evil. The future horizon of resurrection gives purpose and hope to the Christians living in the present. Secondly, the resurrection constitutes the beginning of a new creation. Resurrection is really an act about and for creation. God made the world, he made it good, it's gone bad, and so God intends to renew creation through the resurrection. That new resurrection is here already in the deposit of the Spirit in believers, which marks us as the new humanity created to live in a soon-to-be new world. Resurrection means that the curse of creation and the nexus of sin and death have been broken and will be swept aside. God's new creation is launched upon a surprising and unsuspected world. In the words of N.T. Wright, what creation needs is neither abandonment nor evolution, but rather redemption and renewal. And this is both promised and guaranteed by the resurrection of Jesus Christ from the dead. Then third, the resurrection is an inspiration for kingdom ministry. It means that we have the task of proclaiming and embodying before the world exactly what this new creation is and what it looks like. We are resurrected people, and we demonstrate how resurrection, as both a present experience and a future hope, impacts people when it is worked out in daily life, in family life, and community life. Therefore, if we are children of the resurrection, as Luke 20:36 tells us, then we show the suitability of that name when we are committed to turning our lives into a means of life-giving grace for all those around us. The resurrection moves us toward taking risks and advancing our kingdom ministry because the resurrection proves that God is behind us, he is before us, and he is with us. Thanks for watching. I would love your help building up the TCB community, so please share my videos like this one on your social media platforms, and be sure to sign up for our email list for more great content.